I mean, it's still at the start of everything. We've been busy doing promoting our album, and how many concerts have we played so far, Jake?
Is it five or six? Five, I think.
Five, yeah. Yeah, we played 3 in England, 4 in England. No, we didn't.
We're losing track.
We're musicians, not mathematicians. No, we played about 4 in England, and we played in Paris. We were due to go to America, but that's been postponed till the spring. So we're playing here tonight in Hamburg, and then we're playing in Berlin tomorrow night with the Beck Boys. So yes, this is the start of it, and hopefully we'll have a good concert tonight. I'd just been to a New Year's Eve party with my friend, my other friend in England, Alex James from Blur, the bass player out of Blur, and we went to, he invited me down to a New Year's Eve party down near his house. He lives about 200 miles away from where I live in Manchester. And as you know, it got very late, it got to 4 o'clock in the morning, as musicians do. When it gets to that time, everyone started picking up instruments, playing guitars, and had another friend there, Carl Jackson, who was actually plays some of the drums on the Bad Lieutenant album. And we were playing, I think we were playing Hide Your Love Away by the Beatles. And we just said, you know, sounds good, why don't we do some stuff together? And that's how Bad Lieutenant started. But neither Carl nor Alex are in the band anymore. So I'm the original founding member. He's Johnny come lately. Steve is part of the band, very much part of the band. He's our drummer now. We went through about 4 different drummers, but when we started the group, Steve wasn't available because he had some personal problems within his family that he had to attend to. But as soon as Steve became available, we started using Steve. We also used Jake's brother, Matt Evans, who does a lot of the backing vocals on the album, and Jack Mitchell, who's a friend of Phil's. So it's difficult to find a decent drummer these days.
We didn't know each other too well. I'd met Bernard once before a mutual friend's birthday party, which I kind of worked out to be my audition, really. I got up and sang a song at a mutual friend's birthday party.
So it was another party?
That's right, yeah. That's all we do, rock and roll, party all the time. So that's where Bernard, I think, we first met. And then my other band supported New Order at that last UK date, which was Wolverhampton in the UK. So I think you saw us, did you? Did you come out and watch us?
Yeah, I came out and watched 3 songs. Jake's other band is called Rambo and Leroy. And they supported us on the last date that New Order played in the UK, and I went out to watch them, and I was very impressed, yeah. I was drunk now, so.
Yeah, to be fair.
I've never auditioned a musician in my life, even in Joy Division when I gave Ian Curtis the job. Or, you know, we gave him the job. We didn't audition him, he just called one night and said, "Hi, I believe you're looking for a singer." And I said, "Yeah, who is it?" And he said, Ian Curtis. And I said, "Oh, I met you at gigs, you know, we used to go to punk gigs and used to see Ian there." So I said, "Oh, is it the Ian that I met at, you know, the Clash gig or whatever?" And he said, yeah. I said, "All right, yeah, you got the job." And just gave him the job on the phone like that. So I'm not a great believer in auditions. I believe that more importantly than someone's musical ability, well, it's kind of probably a naive way of looking at things, but someone's personality is more important because you can have the best musician in the world, but if you don't get on together, you're going to split up. So it's more important that you get on together, you know, as
or at
people.
least just as important.
Yeah, just as important, yeah. Obviously, well, strangely, Joy Division came together with Ian, Peter Hook, Steve, and me, and we all learnt to play within that group. Before Joy Division, we couldn't play anything. So we all learnt to play in that group. So having done that once, I always think it'll always work that way, you know. But I think we were just very fortunate in Joy Division that it worked for us, you know. And we were just really fortunate that it worked out that way, and I'm a bit naive about it these days. Fortunately, Jake can play very well. What the Sex Pistols did was they gave people, before the Sex Pistols, you kind of imagine that you had to be born a virtuoso, you know, like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and progressive rock, where every song was basically a solo from beginning to end, and people played like that all the time. Everyone thought you had to do that. And then when we saw the Sex Pistols, they put songs together with 3 chords and a lot of imagination. And that was a revelation, because it put music back in at the hands of normal people like me. And it showed you that perhaps you didn't have to do so much with your hands, and you could do more with your brain than your hands, you know. If you weren't that capable a player, you could perhaps use your imagination more and still make good music. That's the lesson that the Sex Pistols inadvertently, I think, taught people. I don't think they had an agenda to do that. I just think that I don't know. And it was a thing that I think people miss about punk as well. It was kind of funny, you know. They kind of looked stupid, the Sex Pistols, and there was kind of a humorous quality to it. I think. So also, what they did was, the message that they gave again to people inadvertently was to stop taking yourself and stop taking music so seriously. You know, it's supposed to be fun, you know. So yeah, the Sex Pistols were a great thing.
It's inescapable to, you know, you can't not realise that, really. It's been wonderful to work with Bernard and Steve and Phil indeed as well, but I would say that I first got into New Order, really, and then through New Order kind of discovered Joy Division. I kind of went backwards rather than joining them at the beginning of their journey. I went backwards through it, and it's just fantastic to work with these guys, you know what I mean? They've just made so many fantastic, influential records. So you do have to kind of forget about it, though, in a certain way when you start working together, because I'm sure Bernard would be the first to admit that, you know, you don't live off your past credentials, do you? You just kind of, it's only, you live in the present, don't you, and just try to make good stuff, you know, from here on in. So I guess you did that as well, didn't you? So it was kind of easy to work with Bernard. You know, it was a bit nerve-wracking at first, because, you know, it's Bernard Sumner, you know, but after a while, you know, soon got comfortable.
Are you
with
nervous
each other.
about the gig tonight?
There wasn't really a plan. We just kind of got together, because I think the main rule was it just had to be fun, you know. So we just got together and just started. There wasn't really a clear direction at first. We just got together, started playing. But then, after a few jams at Alex's, you know, we quickly realised that we needed to start kind of taking it a bit more seriously and writing, you know, properly together rather than just seeing what happens and stuff.
The idea initially was just because I guess things with Blur for Alex had got very pressurised, and things with me in New Order had got very soured, you know, and wasn't a good feeling. Was initially that we were just going to write a few songs, maybe 8 songs, and then go and play them in a pub near Alex's, just to get back.
Can you imagine us doing that now?
No, just to get back to roots, you know, and just to get back to what music was all about when you first started, about it being fun, you know, and not being a serious business, what it had become, and it had just become pure work, you know. And I became a musician so that I didn't have to work, and I became a musician so that I didn't have a career, you know. And it had become a career, and it had become work. So the idea initially with Bad Lieutenant was that we were just going to play in a pub a few songs that we'd written sketchily, you know. But once we started writing the material, we realised that I've never written a song in a flippant way in my life, and I couldn't get my head around it. Writing a song that I thought was, well, it's all right, it's good enough to play in a pub, you know. So I realised then that it was a bit of a pipe dream, what we call in England a pipe dream, and that really, actually, we all wanted to take it seriously and concentrate on our efforts on the writing process, and we won't be happy with anything less than giving it the most we could give it, you know. So we eventually took it more seriously than we intended to. That's what I'm trying to say.